Shijai Long is going to be our referee for the match we're going to be focusing on here on table 2. Kyren and Wu. Yize, who had that tremendous run to the final in Brentwood and very nearly overturned a seemingly hopeless 8-2 deficit against Neil Robertson. He put together 5 brilliant frames before Robertson eventually held him off, but yet further evidence of his potential. And, well, for Kyren Wilson, the potential that he's always had has been well and truly realised in the last few months. World champion. Not only that, 2 further titles already this season. Feels like he's playing at a whole new level, confidence sky high. And wearing the mantle of world champion extremely impressively, and looking to kick on again this week. Still only 32 as well, so there is a lot of snooker ahead of the Warrior. Chance to embellish that already very impressive CV, which is getting better by the week. So we're ready to go here on table 2. Just a reminder, Ding Junhui against Hossein Vafai on Discovery Plus. Places in the round of 16 up for grabs today in Nanjing. It's Kyren Wilson against Wu Yize. It's the best of 11 frames, the first of 6 to go through. And it's Wu to get us underway. And it's good evening to Fergal O'Brien. Hi, Fergal.
Hi, Philip. How are you? Yeah, looking forward to this match. Always good to see the world champion in action, particularly when he's in such good form. He's also playing an opponent, a lot more inexperienced, but also in great form, having his best season. Played fantastic getting to the final of the English Open.
How's that for an opening red? And it's one of Kyren Wilson's great strength. Other highlights from this morning, of course, O'Sullivan out. And a couple of other big hitters gone as well. Sean Murphy, beaten by Chris Wakelin. Murphy only scored 11 points in the last 3 frames of that one from 3 all. Ali Carter, who won the Championship League at the start of this season, the ranking version, so he'll be in the Champion of Champions, but he's out, beaten by Jackson Page, who finished that match with a century. Jack Lazowski came through an epic battle with Shijai Wei with a 58 break in the decider. And Gary Wilson came from 4-1 down, and Wilson hasn't been in great form this season to beat Robbie Williams 6-5. So maybe that's the catalyst for the reigning Scottish and Welsh Open champion to really get his season up and running. John Higgins, who was 3-0 down in his previous match against Ben Williston and won 6-3, won 6-1 today against Matthew Stevens, who did make a century, but that was as good as it got for him.
That opening red from Kyren, a sign of his confidence, but also the kind of shot once you get, that'll give you confidence. And this is another sign of his confidence. Going for this blue.
Yeah, he's backing himself in a big way at the moment, Wilson, to come through any sort of adversity. Yesterday he showed his anger when he double kissed, which cost him the frame before he actually sealed victory over Lu Hongyu. He banged his cue on the ground in annoyance, but he didn't stay angry for long because he made a 1-4-3 break to clinch the match with a no-look black at the end. And that, of course, is the joint highest break alongside Mark Selby from qualifying for this event.
Yeah, in the end, quite a poor positional shot he played from that blue. Now, it must be loving, not just snooker, but loving life at the moment. As world champion, he's kicked on. You know, those 2 great pots already showing that confidence.
They've only played once before. That was at the UK Championship in 2021. Wilson won 6-3. Wu obviously has moved to a whole new level himself since then. By the way, the WPBSA and World Snooker have announced today the names that will join the qualifiers for the UK Championship. That takes place in Leicester from the 16th to the 21st of November. Of course, the top 16 at the end of this tournament will be in York at the Barbican as of right as the seeded players. And I guess the headline would be the returning Zhao Jintong after his ban, who won on the Q Tour. He is among those 16 names. Former UK champion, of course, Zhao. Oh, that's great cueing. I mean, he must have thought when he hit it that it was good for the pocket. It's just caught the jaw. No great damage, though.
The match today could be very well won and lost from distance. Both of them excellent long potters. So the safety will have to be excellent also.
The winner will play the Barry Hawkins or Neil Robertson, who of course denied Wu that English Open title and was in typically heavyweight scoring form against Fan Zhengyi yesterday. Made 4 centuries in winning 6-0.
Playing this red to right corner, just came across to see he's going to stun over for the black. Just making sure if he left the white there and did miss, would he leave Kyren a red? Wasn't an easy pot, particularly at the start of the match. A little bit more difficult, but he has left this red that will go past the black. You can see he didn't quite have a full pocket to aim for there, with the black slightly in the way.
Wu playing here at a career high of 30. And he stands at 9th on the one-year list, so very nicely placed with the Players Series events from next spring in mind. Top 32, of course, qualify for the World Grand Prix, which is being staged for the first time in Hong Kong. That's in March. The Players and the Tour Championships to follow that. It's been an eventful path to get to this match, actually, for Wu. He was 3-0 up against Wang Yuchen in his first match, and then trailed 4-3 before winning 6-4, and then against Andrew Higginson, he was 3-0 down, and then won 6 on the bounce, including 2 centuries. So 2 rather different matches to set up this crack at the World Champ.
You can see from that angle there, just before he played, his eyes flicking to the object ball before he delivered the cue. Pause at the back, just give him that extra little bit of time to focus on that exact point he wants to hit. Excellent shot. Yeah, top of the table there. He's in trouble here. Again with the blue and pink certainly in play, even the black. If he leaves the red at all, it'll be easy enough to get on another colour. So well worth giving it an extra few seconds here, just trying to find some shot. That picture you can see there is probably the best option. Just come off the side cushion and lie onto that red. Have careful playing. It could leave a red to left corner. Yeah, that'll be going back. I'm not sure that angle was there to play the two cushion. The red tight on the cushion near the red corner is in play for that. But obviously doesn't want to be hitting that or getting a big contact on it.
They've already played a frame in the match this evening on table 4. Xiao Guodong, the Wuhan Open champion, of course, leads Mark Allen 1-0. Allen having come through against Fergal's charge Aaron Hill yesterday from 2-2 at the interval.
I think Kyren been tempted here. Can he play this red onto this plant? Knowing that the white's gone back up the table, played a shot to nothing. Yeah, played it very well.
Judd Trump made reference to a different look about Kyren Wilson around the table since he became world champion, and he made those comments before he was demolished by this man in the final in Belfast last week before. And I think he's right. There's, I don't know if it's a swagger, but there just seems to be a different sort of stomp around the table now from Wilson, which I guess inevitably comes from winning the biggest title of all, proving to yourself that you can be a world champion, show what it takes over 17 days at the Crucible.
Yeah, whatever vision you would have in your mind of how world champion would play, act, walk, talk, he's doing it. And to be fair, he did it from the first ball in the World Championships this year. Commentated on that match. Very focused, resilient, and that extra self-belief that you need.
Yeah, he demolished Dominic in the first round, Dominic Dale 10-1, and aside from the rally from Jack Jones in the final, he was never really seriously tested, and of course he also avenged that very heavy loss to John Higgins the year before at the Crucible in the quarterfinals, which was perhaps the key on his way to that particular title. But of course since then he's won here in China, the Xi'an Grand Prix, beat O'Sullivan in the semis, and now he's won in Belfast, beating Trump, the player of the season, him aside, for the loss of only 3 frames. Well, we didn't actually see it go in, but trust me, it did, at a pace.
Sounded good. Yeah, he was a little bit frustrated when playing the pink that he wasn't able to play the red to right corner, but didn't carry that frustration in. Again, classic example of his great cue action. Just backs himself to pot his way out of trouble if needed. It's such an asset to have.
Thank 21.
A little bit frustrated again. Didn't cannon
27.
the red to the right of the bunch, which would have left the red to left corner.
That was far from easy. There was a lot of distance between the two balls that Wilson was looking to plant, but taking the cue ball back to a safe spot. Well, that's not the best from Wu. The good news for him is that Wilson's hampered. In fact, maybe the black was covering that red anyway, but it's a safety.
Kyren using the bridge that Ronnie's used a couple of times this week. Again, Kyren had the green ball slightly in the way. And with O'Sullivan, I'm not sure whether that's made a couple of plasters on those fingers, so I don't know whether it's a technical thing or necessity.
Yeah, O'Sullivan didn't play poorly today by any means. In fact, he was very much dialed in. But Pang was ultimately a bit too good for him. The way he finished the match was remarkable, really. Could have had the maximum and then finished with another century. Another mistake.
Yeah, a little bit wild. It's similar to that earlier on in the frame. He missed it the same way. He certainly doesn't want to be giving Kyren these easy opportunities. With the first red, it's quite simple.
He was just concerned for a moment there that that red was going to scupper him. It hasn't, and now it's a golden chance to kill this frame off. Slightly awkward frame initially, but Wilson has been able to control it.
6, 7.
Won his maiden ranking title in China, in Shanghai in 2015, beat Judd Trump in a decider. He now has 8 of them.
40.
You get a sense of Kyren, not only is he super confident that he's world champion, but also you get a sense there's a belief there that he thinks now that he is the best player in the world. Or if he's not, he can be or will be. And certainly his rivalry with Judd Trump is really gathering pace. A few years ago, there was talk of it. To be fair, I don't think it was doing Kyren any favours. He wasn't quite ready. He's the real deal now, and Judd will be very aware of that.
23.
Well, he's already beaten them in 2 finals this season. This frame now well and truly secure with only 59 left. And it's featured a number of terrific pots. Wilson with the initial long red, beautifully struck.
30.
Another one that absolutely flew into the green pocket from distance.
31.
And a mistake from Yize let Wilson in to finish the job.
37. 38. 45. 46. 53. 54. 60.
The old question marks about Kyren Wilson's cue ball control, certainly long since answered. He's one of the most prolific scorers in the game these days.
Yeah, testament, I think, to his attitude and character. And rather than getting annoyed, they actually took that advice on board, coming from some of the greatest players of all time, and went away and worked on it.
Kyren was 65.
And a break of 65 seals the first frame for the world champion. He was always in control of it. A couple of errors from Yize. Wilson leads 1-0.